Hello and welcome to Billionairette. I'm Isabel, I'm one of the founders here at Billionairette. I'm happy to have you here on this channel where we talk about personal and financial freedom. We provide tools on how to achieve those things. And one of the ways that we do that is through books. Books are the gateway to understanding so much more about ourselves, and also it has the tools and the recipes and the secrets of those that have lived amazing lives and have learned amazing lessons. And it's all being put into a step-by-step process on how to not go through it, how to achieve it, how whatever it is that you want to do, it's in a book. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's also in a book. So, and it's also on YouTube. So I'm glad that you're here. And we are here to not only impact you, the listener, the person that is watching this video, but also billions of souls worldwide. And our mission here at Billionairette is primarily to impact the world through billions of people through personal and financial freedom, to achieve that freedom that allows us to be authentically ourselves. And I'm really excited about this particular book that we're reading. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People in the Digital Age by Dale Carnegie. And this particular book has a very special tone to it because it's completely different than the types of books that I normally like to read. It has a different style of writing. And when it comes to the recap videos that we do here on this channel, it's I wanted to actually expand on each point so it makes sense and it can actually be used not only in business but in life. Sound good? So in part two of How to Win Friends and Influence People, that part two section, okay, it's called The 6 Ways on How to Make a Lasting Impression. So the 6 ways to make a lasting impression, according to Dale Carnegie, in part two of this book, it's number one, you want to take interest in others. Take interest in others' interests, okay? Not just yours. Number two, you got to smile, okay? Number three, you got to reign with names. So reign with names, aka master names. Number four, you want to be able to listen longer. Number five, you want to discuss what matters to them. And then number six, okay, number six, you want to leave others a little better, okay? So I'm going to do a very quick recap on each one, a little story from each one, so you can take the information and you can either go read the book for yourself, or you can take this information and really analyze what's going on in your life right now and say, wow, I'm really heading in the right direction. I'm really following these amazing 6 ways on how to really influence friends and people, right? Or maybe I need to change some things around. Maybe I can adjust some things in my life so I can achieve what it is that I want. Because regardless of what it is that you're looking to achieve this year, okay? If you want to increase your finances, if you want to connect with more people, if you want to strengthen your relationships, if you want to travel more, if you want to, be healthier, if you want to, be in a better mood, you know, it's all going to require people. And the first person that you need to tackle is yourself, right? So, number one, it's the first point that Dale Carnegie shares in this book is take interest in others' interests. He mentioned how powerful in one of the simplest type of relationships that we are commonly aware of is a dog. A dog is this four-legged creature that whenever you step outside for 2 minutes or have traveled for 2 weeks, they welcome your return as if you were a hero. Okay. They can care less about what you did yesterday. They can care less about what you did what you're going to do tomorrow. They can care less about what you have written in your to-do list, nothing like that. They want your presence. They can really, they're enamored by you, right? Dogs are called a man's best friend or a woman's best friend for a reason. The loyalty, the strength behind their care, their love, their attention. It's all relevant. And if you have had a dog or a cat or some kind of pet, you know how powerful it is to have that being just wait for you or like see you or like you be able to hug it and be able to like play with it or like go out and like walk it, whatever it is, you know. I remember my dog, Bear, the sweetest, most loyal, amazing, classiest dog in the world. Okay. She was so like classy. You know, she was the type of dog that um at like she would play with you, she would, you know, not she was never into like fetch. Okay. I tried the whole thing of like throw the stick or throw the ball or whatever and see if she gets it. No, she was too classy for that. She stayed in, she would watch the ball go, she would watch the stick go. She would be like, go get it, you know? But she was very protective, you know? So whenever I walked her or whatever, she would always have this like strut about her that's super confident. And she was always like, if another dog was walking by, she would always like give them the look, you know what I mean? And it just felt awesome because you knew that I personally knew that I was protected by her and she knew that I protected her too. And there was this mutual camaraderie between us and it was fun. You know, every single time that we rode in the car, it was fun. You know, put the windows down, the air was flowing. She was smiling, I was smiling. Like it's so little, the littlest little details. It's just something that stays with you. And even in moments where it's like, you actually need to talk to someone, right? She was there. I told her, I mean, I would just speak my mind, and she was always there to listen, right? And it almost sounds as if I'm talking about a person, right? The way that I'm like sharing all this. And it's crazy to say that it was really a dog. And I mean, when she did pass away, it was like 4 days before my birthday because we had to put her to sleep, and I literally held her paw till the end. Like I felt her heartbeat until the end. Oh, it was the worst. It was the worst feeling ever. I still remember it. And to be honest, it's one of those moments where it's like you feel like a part of you leaves. So that also happens with the relationships that you have with people. Okay. Every single interaction, every single connection that you build, if you are able to connect with that person and if you're able to take interest in what that person has, going back to the first point that Dale Carnegie was talking about, you're able to really see them for who they are. You know, the only way that I was able to know Bear was because I was able to get to know her in that sense. You know, I knew that she didn't like canned food, certain type of canned food. I knew that she hated to get her paws wet. I knew that she loved going on car rides, but she hated the highway. She hated sand. I'm telling you, she was very classy and very bougie. Okay. Um, I remember a lot of things. She hated shower, like that when she was getting a shower, bathed, cold water. Hated it. If it was kind of warm, she was like, okay, that's fine. You know, so like all these things were like really, it's so funny. And it's so like little things. But if you can find something and try this next time you're out at a Starbucks or something, ask someone, hey, how's your day going? Or if you don't want to go that too deep with someone, try this exercise out. You see someone, you sit down, okay, maybe you're sitting next to them or whatever, and they're sitting there and they're probably on their phone. You know, we live in a world where everybody's glued to their phone and they have a coffee. And then you can just turn to them and say, oh, what'd you get? They're like, excuse me? You can say, oh, what'd you get? Yeah, what did you order? And then they'll tell you the whole entire order. A macchiato venti with skim milk and caramel on top. And I like the warmness, whatever it is that they ordered. Smile and say, wow, that's a really great order. Thanks for sharing. You can end it at that. I guarantee you that if you were to start that conversation, listen to what they ordered, look at them in the eye, and then give them a smile like, wow, thanks for that. You genuinely, authentically were interested in that. That person's going to most likely ask you what you ordered. And that becomes the connection that Dale Carnegie talks about in this particular chapter. Being able to create this camaraderie, whether it's a dog, whether it's a person, whether it's a stranger, how do you find interest in someone else? And how are you able to connect that with that other person while still being authentic and genuine to yourself? That's pretty much what part one of this book is all about. And it's a really, really powerful way to not only set yourself up for success, because I personally, it was hard for me to ever start a conversation with anyone. Are you kidding me? That's like the most frightening thing on earth, right? So being able to genuinely start taking interest in other people, regardless of how small the things are, you're able to expand upon that. And that's what makes you interesting. If you can find interest in what they are interested in, you, in return, become interesting. Okay? Now, in the second point of this particular book, it is all about smiling. Okay? Smiling is the second point of this part two of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I want to actually read a specific part of the book to you. And it reads like this. There is a simple reason for this phenomenon, and it's when we smile, we are letting people know that we are happy to be with them, happy to meet them, happy to be interacting with them. They in turn feel happier to be dealing with us. To someone who has seen a dozen people frown, scowl, or turn their faces away, your smile is like the sun breaking through the clouds. Your smile is often the first messenger of your goodwill. Imagine that. Just a little smile of yours can take someone from being in the dark, okay, clouds, literally like a rain cloud over them, and then they see you smile, and then all of a sudden this sun just pierces through and gives them the right energy that they just needed that day, that moment. You have that power within you to change someone's life or to improve someone's life. You can't change no one's life. That's something that they have to do on their own. But if you were able to actually create a positive impact towards that, I mean, that's amazing. We are all able to smile, okay? We can smile with our eyes, okay? Even when it was like, COVID and everybody had a mask, you can still smile with your eyes, you know? Even though I'm like literally cheeking it out, I'm still smiling, you know? Or if I cover my eyes and you see my smile, you can still see that. And it still puts a smile on your face. Next time you go out, and let's say you're walking down the street and you're just living your life, maybe you're on your phone and you're walking, because that's what people do nowadays. Or if you're just going towards somewhere, and let's say you're about to open the door to some place, maybe there's some people there. I want you to take a moment, stop, open the door, look at the person behind you, smile while you hold the door open. I'm telling you, this is a game changer right here. When you open the door, you look at the person coming in, you greet them with a smile, their whole entire demeanor flushes. Their whole entire like robot thinking releases. Their whole entire, oh shit, I'm late, or oh shit, oh, I need to do all this stuff, it pauses. All because of that one little gesture. And if you're probably thinking, oh, I live in New York, like if I open the door, a crowd of people are gonna come in. I guarantee you, if you hold that door and there's like 10 people, let's just say random, 7% or 70% of them, 7 people that out of 10 will look at you and they will change. Like, oh, wow. They might not say anything. And this is where it comes to you. They might not say anything to you. They might not say thank you. They might not say, wow, you're great, or wow, what a great smile, or oh my God, thank you so much. They might not. But your smile reciprocated in their subconscious for them to automatically change the demeanor of what it is that they were thinking about. Whether it was a negative, whether it was a, some thought that was going through their mind, or, living day to day, or like not really going in the right direction. That smile, that presence could definitely change someone from being in the dark to being in the light. So always, always remember that. But just by giving a smile, even if you have a bad smile, it's better than no smile at all. You can smile with no teeth. You can smile with a nod. You can smile with your eyes, just being positive. Even you creating a smile will set your neurons, it's scientifically proven that when you smile, when you like change your posture, when you change the way that you're speaking and you're smiling, you're able to actually calm down a minute. You're able to disconnect from any negativity. So when in doubt, smile. When you're in a hurry, smile. When you're opening the door, smile. When you're in a rush, try to smile, okay? Do something, because that will automatically change not only you, but it will also help someone else. So to finalize it, smile, okay? And that is point number 2 of the amazingness of part 2, the 6 ways, okay? We're in part 2. Now let's get into the third one. The third one is to reign with names. Reign with names is so important, okay? So important. If you are a professional, if you are working in a business that is yours, if you are an entrepreneur and you're working in someone else's company and you are growing because you believe in that mission and vision, if you are working as an employee and you're literally just doing your day-to-day task and you're, going towards a mission, a milestone, or something that you're doing for that particular company, this tool right here is essential, not only for your well-being, but it is to ensure that the other person and other people can see you. Okay. And this is going to be kind of like a magic trick, if you will. And this, I call it a magic trick because in today's time, okay, we are all connected, interconnected through the internet, through Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it, it's here. Okay, we are connected. And everybody, and I'm going to actually read something from Carnegie, he mentions here, everyone is their business. Okay, everyone has their own unique way of representing themselves. Everyone has access to information nowadays. And in the digital age, names are like company logos. They're not just identifying that person, but they also identify what they represent and everything in between. So for example, if you were to go to an event, like I'm going to use my own personal experience because this happened to me very recently, and this is actually very relatable to this topic. So we were at the pickleball national tournament in Boca Raton, Florida, last week doing an event. And we were there for 5 days. And we had a booth and we were selling product. And the cool thing about it is like I've played pickleball maybe 4 times in my life. Okay. It was fun, really cool. But did I get into the sport? Was I playing every day? Do I feel like I can become a professional? Do I want to get into it? Yeah, for sure. It's very interesting. But have I done that? No. Everyone in this tournament is a pro. They are definitely not amateurs. They live, breathe, smell like pickleball. Okay. They are all up in their pickleball zone life. Okay. And that's what they love. Okay. Now, we were in a really awesome space with the booth. Everybody walked by. We were right next to the championship court. So like we saw the whole thing, but we also were in this part where people had to pass by and people always saw us and we saw them. So I made it a point to myself before the tournament that I was going to try to remember people's names because for the longest time in my life, okay, that has been the hardest thing for me to actually remember people's name. And one thing that my wife taught me that she learned in network marketing was her mentor, Holton Buggs, back in the day. He was like, if you want to remember somebody's name, say their name about 6 times within the first 6 minutes of meeting them, right? So for example, something like this. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Awesome, Steve. I'm so glad that you're here. Cool. Well, Steve, tell me more about what it is that you're going to do today. Oh, wow, Steve, that's awesome. Oh, so are you going to go over there, Steve, or are you thinking about going there? Oh, okay, Steve, got it. Perfect. Well, it was nice seeing you today, Steve. Really appreciate you here. And, we'll be in touch, right? Awesome, Steve. Bye. 6 times, 6 or 7 times I said Steve, but that was like a whole flow of a conversation that could have happened, right? Now, imagine doing that in an actual tournament or when you're seeing someone pass by. There's volunteers and then there's players and there's all these people. So what I did was whenever someone passed by and they had like a volunteer shirt, I was like, hello, thank you for coming. How do you feel today? And they were like, what? Some of them. Some of them ignored me, obviously, because that's part of the game. But then there's also a couple that actually were like, oh, everything's good, thanks. You know? And then I got to the point where I wanted to actually interact with them. So, how's it going? What's your name? Or something like that came up. And then I would try to say their name a couple times. And then the people that bought from us, I would say their name like 3 or 4 times. Like literally, one of them was Diane. Oh, Diane, what's up? How you doing? How's it going? Got it, Diane. You want this for your niece and you want this for your kid too? Oh, thanks, Diane. I really appreciate that. Okay, so Diane, is there anything else that you want? Ah, I love it. So when's your match, Diane? Tell me. You gotta tell me. You gotta keep me updated here. Diane told me all these stuff, and I'm like, because I've said it 3 to 4 times, I knew her name, you know? And even after that, I would write it down some way, somehow. I would put it in my notes. So, like, because of that, the lady came, not just because of my efforts, obviously. All of us combined, awesome team, right? Because we implemented that, we were able to get her to come back. Out of the 5 days, she won the gold that day, so she was playing all of 5 days. But she came and she bought 4 days out of the week. The only day that she didn't buy, she was actually playing the whole match. But she did stop by the booth. She saw, she said hi, hello, what's up? And what's really powerful is that we've made that connection. Another example would be if you're working at a company, if you are, let's say, an entrepreneur, which is, I love entrepreneurs because as a business owner myself, entrepreneurs to me are like the hidden gem that are like, they're passionate because they know they want something and they're very motivated and they're driven, you know, but it's not their business that they're going after. It's about growing a mission, it's growing a vision, it's being part of something huge. And then being part of that is what drives it. I could be wrong. If you're an entrepreneur and you have a different definition, let me know. I would love to learn more about that because this is something that I love you guys. So I want to learn more about that. But this is something that I think they can become even better at. When it comes to entrepreneurs and employees, by the way, goes for two. Entrepreneurs and employees, if you want to be able to just leverage opportunity, remember people's names. This one way of really helping you stand out from the crowd is the way to go. Imagine if some person is coming into the organization and they're actually doing a presentation, or maybe you're out there pitching or whatever it is that you're doing. Say the person's name 3 to 4 times so you remember it. When you run into them in the hallway or at, in the middle of the transition of going into the event or whatever it is that you're going to do, say their name. It's the craziest thing. They might forget your name, and that is fine. But if you can remember their name, they will never forget you. They'll remember your face, and eventually they'll remember your name. But if you can make it a point for you to remember someone else's name, you got it in the bag. Okay? It's so crazy. And nowadays, even if you do connect through Instagram, and let's say you connect with someone at an event and you're like, oh, cool. So what's your Instagram? And you guys connect and you guys see each other's pictures and you're really vibing with one another. You're not going to just call them by their username. Okay? If you know them by name, that's a very much more stronger connection that you can have with that person. And it's a lot more quality based. So making sure that you have that is key. And it's very, 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 very valuable. Okay. Now, in this particular video, we've covered 3 of the 6 different ways that Dale Carnegie says that this is how you can make a lasting impression. So we've covered 1, take interest in others, making sure that you understand what others' interests are before you start talking about you. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to smile, okay? And then number 3, you got to master names. If you can remember someone's name, you got it in the bag, okay? So this particular video is going to conclude here. In the next video, make sure to check out the other video. we're going to actually cover the next three. Okay, so it's going to be how to listen longer, how to discuss what matters to them, okay? And then number 6 is leave others a little better. So make sure to check out the next video because it's going to be probably located somewhere here, because that is what makes this part 2 of how to win friends and influence people juicy. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. I'll talk to you soon. See you later.